Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. In the last episode, let me start with that. In the last episode, we launched a rocket to do some survey work of Kerbin. And let me see if I can find it here. That's a space camp. We'll get to that in a sec. Here we go. Conduct biological activity surveys of Kerbin. Now, let's go back. Let's go to the... There we go. Let's go to the tracking station real quick. Okay. This is the spacecraft. Here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Right here. Now, remember... I said I wanted to move its orbit a little bit, and I did. I moved it a little bit so I could get some of these, so I can fly over some of these destinations. I did manage to get 2 of them while I was not recording. I got 2 of them. I need to get this last one here. So what I'll probably do is finish this up, and then there's a couple more contracts that I'm looking at. I'm going to go back and show you. Alright, let's go on to mission control. And what I did was, actually, let me go back. I have so many things to show you that I'm not sure where to start. Okay, so with the space camp, I just basically did a warp to next morning several times, because I was looking for different contracts, and I wasn't really getting much. So I did that, and as I did that, I would pick up contracts. I have 2 days left on these space campers up there. So we're going to be picking them up very soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be this episode. Probably not. Probably next episode, but they're coming soon. But what I did was, as I advanced the clock, I'd pick up contracts that I saw that were interesting. I did pick up... I finally took this one, bring 2 tourists into low Kerbin orbit, because I kept getting the same contracts down here. So I thought I'd take one and complete it and then see if I get something different. This is the biological activity survey that I'm doing now. As you see, I got 2 complete. I need 1 more. This is the transfer to crew between vessels in orbit. Oh, here's one. Tiros 7 television infrared observation satellite. So what I have to do is launch a satellite in a polar orbit and have meet these requirements. Altitude of at least 70,000 meters. Orbit around Kerbin, a polar orbit. Eccentricity of 0.01. Have to be up there 1 day, has to have a science device, an antenna, solar panels, electric charge greater than 600. So I want to do this, even though it doesn't give me a whole lot. I just kind of want to do the contract. It gives me more, what is this, recognition? So the higher your recognition score, supposedly the better contracts you get. So I want to try and boost that. So I think today... we'll finish up this one. And get this complete, bring it back. Bring the 2 astronauts back. Then I want to do this real quick. Get 2 tourists into orbit, and then maybe do this one. Those are the 3 I want to try and get done today. I was thinking about this one too. Maybe. Since, let's see, this is 170. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go back and at least finish up this one here. And I believe that's the Minotaur. Yes. Alright, let's fly that one. Oh, by the way, I did finally deorbit the atlas that was circling here constantly. That one's gone. I've actually tried to look at this one, this atlas here. I went and flew it. And actually, there is sun hitting the solar panel on this, but it's not registering. Don't know why. So it looks like I probably have to basically terminate it. But there is sun hitting the solar panel, but it's not. If you want, I can show you real quick. It's about hitting half of the solar panel. Now, when I last looked at it, it was hitting just a little part of the solar panel, but now, right before this episode, I went and looked at it, and it's hitting about half the solar, a little bit more than half the solar panel. So it should be getting a charge, but it's not. Alright, let's go back to this one. So I'm going to leave this one here and check on it periodically. But for now, we'll fly this one. And get the graphics to load. So, they've also been up here for 40 days. Or several days, 33 days. Because I was advancing the days at the Space Center to see if I could, well, to advance the clock, to advance the mission time for the space camp, and also get new contracts. And Valentina is wondering when the heck she's going to get to come back. So, let's see if we can finish this. And what I'll probably have to do is do a little time warp to get us in the proper position. So I'll do that real quick, cut that out, and when I get to the proper position, we'll come back. Alright, it's coming closer, as you can see. This is the location that we're supposed to fly over. So I think one more orbit should do it. And we have to be, like, right over this part right here. Should be able to get it on this orbit. Maybe one more. Maybe one more, because I think... Well, I don't know. I'm going to prepare for it this orbit. It's quite possible I might hit it this orbit. So let's go back in here. Graphics are a little off on this. Probably if I go back to the Space Center and then reload it, they'll look better. It's a problem with some of these graphic mods. They look great, but sometimes they'll do weird stuff like this. Okay, so this is open. So I just need to log imaging data. If I manage to fly over this site. I don't know. Maybe not this time. That should tell me I'm flying over the site. Looks like I'm right over it. I'm gonna see if I can, if it counts. You know, maybe... Did I get it? Oh, I did. I got it. I got it. Good. I missed the part where it said I was flying over that particular area. So let's transmit that. Actually, I don't really need to. I'll just keep it. Keep the experiment. So I finished this one. So let's go ahead and deorbit this and get them back. Because I need... Do I have another pilot? I can't remember. I think I have Illibald. But I need someone to bring the tourist up into orbit. Let's close this. And I don't think I want to come down in the dark. I'm going to fly around one more time. Alright. And we'll position ourselves. Oop, let's see. Retrograde. There it is, right there. And we'll just burn until we come back, until we drop out of orbit. How much fuel? Oh, we have tons of fuel. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and burn and bring that Periapsis down. Bring that speed down too. Okay, that should do it. You know what I could do? I got so much fuel, I could just burn fuel as I'm doing a re-entry. And not really need the heat shield, but probably not. I mean, I could try it, but that looks really nice. Alright, let's prepare for re-entry. So we're going to come down right about here somewhere. Looks like the ocean. So let's go ahead and decouple that. Okay, that looks good. See if we can time warp a little bit. Well, there's a landmass right down here. But it does look like we're going to hit the ocean. Somewhere over here. I'm looking for the engine and fuel. There it is, right up there. Okay. It will be coming back too, only in a fireball. Well, fireball that leads to an explosion. Alright, we're getting close. Alright, let's slow this thing down. Going pretty fast for this altitude. Probably should have left, not come down so steep. I don't think it's going to hurt too much. I mean, we should be able to slow down before we plow into the Kerbin. Yeah, it's going to be fine. But still, makes me nervous. Oh, there's land over here. Okay. That's probably where we're going to land, touch down. Guess I should hit the chute. Slow down. There we go. And we've returned from another successful mission. Valentina is very happy. So's Dizon. Let's recover this vessel. Alright. No science. We recovered about 3,000 funds. And 2 crew members. And no ribbons. So it wasn't that big of a mission. But it was something to do. Let's take a look at our contract. This is for, yeah, gathering survey data. So we got 4 science for that. 4 more for this. So we got 4 for each position, basically, that we surveyed. Plus credits and recognition. And this is for, okay, this is for the overall contract. So not bad. It looks like our recognition is now closing in on 60. Not sure. It's somewhere around 60. Alright, let's go in here real quick again. That's the one we just did. Looks, no. Are these in order? No, they're not in order. Okay. So what should we do next? How much time we got left on the camp? 1 day and 5 hours. All right. So let's do the tourist real quick. Just need we're gonna bring 2 up, so I need a 3-person capsule, or I could do a 2-person capsule with some kind of no, I better do a 3-person capsule. Which means I'm going to need a larger rocket to do this. Need 1 pilot. And 2 passengers. And Kerbin orbit above 75,000 meters. Shouldn't be that difficult. Let's go get that done real quick. Alright, so it's going to be kind of like one of my other rockets that brought tourists up. Whichever one that was, I don't remember. Don't need that. Oops. I believe it was the... Again, I should use a different naming convention for these, I think. It was the Atlas, wasn't it? No, that was the moon probe. The Apollo was to go to the moon. I think it wasn't Redstone because that's Titan. That's it. That's the one that I used before. Just as a low carbon orbit rocket. So we're gonna do something kind of like this. These are solid boosters. All right, let's start something new. We're gonna need a 3 crew capacity command pod like this one, I think. Yeah, it's gonna take the larger rocket sizes, so we're also gonna need the large parachute, this one. And I don't think what is this specialized command pod? Oh, it's got thrusters. I don't really need a thruster command pod. I just need a small one that fits 3. That one has thrusters too. I think they do. I guess they all do. Except for that one. No, it's got thrusters as well. Interesting. Crew capacity of 4. Huh. So it's got a built-in reaction wheel. It weighs quite a bit. Now let's just go with this one. Alright, let's put that parachute back on. And this is all that's coming back, so let's get the heat shield, build the stages, and then get out there. Separator. Alright, this is what I've come up... Oops, I need 2 of those. 2. So this is what I've come up with. We have... Let's put these in the right stage. Okay. So we have 3 stages here. This is probably more rocket than I need, but this is what I do. I just over-engineer. So, so we have the clamps. We have the 2 solid rocket boosters that put out, let's see, this is a Globe 10. I think it's this one, yeah. 1,000 at sea level each. And we have them on the same stage as the main engine here. And then we have decouplers. Oops, well, I'm missing something. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Where is... Okay, okay, what's... There should be... Decouple. Decouple. No, that looks right. Okay, we... launch clamps, these two SRBs solid, and then the liquid fuel. We'll decouple them, and then we'll decouple this and burn this engine. Decouple here, burn this engine. To get home, there's a small tank up here to deorbit with, and then this tank here is to finish getting into orbit. This lower stage here is to get us close to orbit. This gets us fully into orbit, this deorbits. And again, this is probably too much fuel, but, and I need the solid rocket boosters, I believe, because I think without them, this is too heavy to actually lift off from the launch pad, because it weighs, where's the weight? 120 tons. So yeah, I don't think this is going to do it. So I'm gonna put some boosters on here to help. So let's put in our crew. Here's the tourists. So we don't need Elibald or Kartop. Valentina is going to send him up. Actually, let's not. Let's do Elibald. He would like a little bit of experience. Not that he's going to get any, but he wants something to do. We're going to take a Nedby and Sanvel Kerman. Two tourists. Look, they're all packed, ready to go. Looks like they got backpacks. I can't tell, though. But they got their t-shirts. They're not exactly dressed for the occasion, but I think those are the two tourists we need to take. Let's make sure. Yep, Nettie and Sanville. And they gotta stay up there a day. Alright, let's go out there, get them up in orbit. Hopefully they'll have fun. Let's do stability assist. And about half throttle, I think. We might have to push that up depending on what we see on launch. Let's make sure we got everything correct. Now, I didn't put any those little motors that push the SRB away because they're on the side. They should fall away okay. I mostly do that with SRBs that are here and here if I'm doing an equatorial orbit, because again, this one on this side tends to fall. It'll fall back in onto the rocket. Not a good thing. Alright, I think we're good. Let's go. Okay, I think that's good thrust. But does he have a... He looks like he's got a mustache. A little beard thing going. They don't look... They look scared to death. Alright, start turning over. And we're approaching burnout for our SRBs. I'm gonna full throttle here. Get rid of those. And my SAS got turned off for some weird reason. Alright, I should have been turning way before now, but I think we're okay. Let's take a look. Come on, rocket. There we go. trying to make up for what I missed earlier. Because I wasn't turning quickly enough. Boy, this thing does not want to stay on. Why does my SS keep going off? Huh. Maybe that's the problem. Is it because I go to map and then back? Yeah. Why? No? I don't know. Got plenty of fuel on this stage, so I'm going to use it as much as I can. See if we can flatten this out. Now we got re-entry coming, huh? Alright, I guess we could, let's begin our maneuver to get into orbit. I think that'll do it. Let's decouple, activate this engine, give it a little thrust. And what do we got? It's a 78-second burn. So I'll start it pretty soon here. Again, this does not have to be a perfect burn. I just have to be in orbit. 84, 89. That'll do. Now they look happy, I think. Stanfill? Can't tell yet. Nedby? I think he's okay. Don't worry, we have a good pilot here. Alright, we're getting close to cutoff time. So we're at 83.91. Okay, that'll do. Let's check the contract real quick. And make sure... Okay, good. Crew at least one pilot, passenger 2, orbit. We are in orbit above 75,000 meters. And we have... It looks like... Is this an hour? Oh, it's an hour. So we only have to be up here an hour. Alright, well... Why don't we go back and build the next rocket for the one that's going to go in the polar orbit? So we're going to leave them up here. He's probably going to get more than an hour, but that's fine. And it's night. Or it's becoming night. No, it's morning. 1 hour, I believe. How does this work? Hold on, let's go to the... it's not that big a deal, is it? But I believe 1 hour is the beginning of the day, which means it should be dark. I don't know. Let's just go in here and get going. First hour of the day is supposed to begin at midnight, right? Okay, we did not title this spacecraft. Get my list of names here I want to use. Oh, let's call this. Well, this is going to be, I don't know. Let's call it the Thor. And it's a low, and it could be high orbit. Let's just call it the 2 point. What size are these parts? 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 meter orbiter. Okay. And save that. That's the one I just built, I believe. Yeah. All right, let's start a new, well, let's look at the contract again real quick. Here we go. So it looks like this vessel would meet all these requirements except for the solar panels. I don't have a science device. Orbit. I don't really need this big one to do this, so let's use the one the Minotaur, was it? No, it needs to be a automated vessel. Yeah, I'm gonna rename these. I don't really like this because I can't tell what's what after you get so many of them here. I think the Alice was the one. Yeah, that one. I'm gonna redo this. I'm gonna pull this apart and redo it. I never liked this design, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna start, and I'll show you what I got when I'm done. Okay, this is the new Atlas. I think this is going to work out better. It looks much different. I added. So I'll go over it real quick. I took off the solar panels here. I left the antenna up here. So it's basically just the probodobodine parachute. It's got a service bay. Now I'm supposed to have. It says in the contract. I gotta scroll way down here. Electric charge greater than 600. So these things, I put these battery packs in. Each of these battery packs has electric charge of 300. So that's should be 1200. It also needs a science device. I'm thinking the orbital telescope, since it is a television infrared observation satellite. So I put the orbital telescope in there. And it needs solar panels, which are these. When I extend these, they look like this on each side. So we'll retract those. And okay, electric charge, automated, solar panels, antenna, science device. All right, so I put the boosters over here on this side of the rockets instead of this side, because we're going to be like when we get out the pad here, instead of going to the east, we're going to be going this way to the north, basically in this direction. So they need to fall off this way instead of putting them here. And I put, let's see, I have this fuel tank with the, let's see what we got here. The Terrier to help get us into orbit and make correctional changes if we need it. Should be enough fuel there. We have these two liquid fuel tanks with the Maverick D engine, which produces, where is it, right here? Maverick, yeah, 326 instead of the Reliant, which is only 205. And then we have these two, the Thumpers, which I'm not really fond of because they go so quickly, especially on this light rocket, so I limited the thrust to 50%. And that should help us. That should do it. I'm hoping. Oh, I need launch clamps. Launch clamps. Put these right. I need 2 of them. There we go. All right. Boosters, main engine, launch clamps, decouple up here, ignite the Terrier, and decouple if we need to, and then the parachute if we need it after that. This should do it. Alright, let's get out to the launch pad. We're going to leave it Moon Probe. Let's just call it the General Probe. Let's just call it just a, I don't know, probe. Save and let's go. It's kind of hard to believe when I look back at the old Atlas that I actually got that thing to the moon. There wasn't much to it, not a whole lot of power. It was a smaller rocket, but this one I believe is much sturdier. Anyway, instead of going in this direction to our side like this, like we usually do, we're going to go forward in this direction, which is north, and probably a little bit because Kerbal turns, rotates. If we go straight north, our orbit will not be quite polar, so we might go in this direction a little bit. Basically, I know if you flip this nav ball over, it makes more sense, but we're going to go, we have to look at the compass directions. So north is 0, and we want to go, and then 45 degrees is, of course, this way. So we want to be a little bit behind the actual, we're going to go off in this direction, sort of. And I still think this is supposed to be lightning over here. I think. Looks pretty cool. Alright, so I'm thinking not a whole lot of thrust. I just don't know yet, because these things tend to really get you going really quick, these thumpers. So I'm going to put it here for now and see where this takes us. Alright. And I'll throttle up if I have to. Let's just get it going. Okay, that looks good. And I like the thrust. It's not too quick. It's not too fast. Maybe a little bit more thrust. And we will start turning over a little bit. And I really should be moving in this direction too. See if I can do that a little bit. Just a little bit. A hair. Oops. Okay, that looks okay, I think. We'll see. We'll see. I should be flattening out here. And we need to power up. Ditch those two. And let's see where we are on the map. Check our apoapsis. Ooh. Let's flatten that out a lot. See if we can correct this somewhat. That looks pretty polar. Okay. We're going to cut the engine. Oops. Cut it. Get this thing in orbit. At 123 and 129. Looks good to me. And where are we? Coming up on... It's okay, it's a 28-second burn. That's not bad at all. Let's maneuver... Actually, you know what we're going to do? Let's dump this stage. Activate this engine. Give it a little bit of gas. Okay, now should be able to... There we go. A little easier to maneuver this. 63-second burn. So we want to do it right around 30 seconds. Come on. How much electricity we got? Plenty. We haven't really used much yet. Okay, so... That looks good. That looks pretty polar to me. Oh, it didn't really tell me specifics for my orbit, so we'll see. This should be good, though. Okay, coming up on our burn. Now, I don't really have to bring this back, so I'm not really worried about saving a bunch of fuel. Oops. Let's get this going. Not really worried about deorbiting. Oops. Come on. There, that looks about right. Okay. Start to slow down, I guess, a little bit. I don't want to go over, but it wouldn't hurt if I did. If I went past where I'm supposed to, or burned a little more, much. Yeah. Come on, let's get that periapsis up there. There we go. 118, 138. 138, 118. Not the greatest of orbits, but I was supposed to have an eccentricity. Oh, current eccentricity, 0.01. I believe that's what I was supposed to have. So, without even trying. Alright. So let's deploy our. It looks like we got everything. Let's deploy our solar panels. I'm not sure if these track the sun. Oh, they do. Do they track the sun? Well, let's turn. Let's rotate so that they do. There we go. Alright, I think I'll stay right about there. Excellent. Now, alright, I've achieved an altitude of at least 70. Orbit. I got my eccentricity at 0.01. It's a polar orbit. I have a science device antenna, solar panel, electric charge. All I have to do now is wait for a day. This is perfect. And that is, wow, that was pretty good. I mean, that's right dead on for the orbit there. All right, I think we're done with that one. So let's check in on, let's go back to the Space Center. This one has to stay here for a day. Where's the other one? We need to check in on our tourist. I believe they've been up for at least an hour. No, I still got 48 minutes. Really? I did this whole launch in 12 minutes? Okay, well, let's go back to the Space Center. I think that's about what we want. And as this circles in a polar orbit, it should stay pointing to the sun. So I think we don't have much else to do. We're going to fast forward to the next morning. I believe we're going to let the tourists stay up there for a little longer. All right, and at this point, we should have, yeah, I just have to recover them. And the other one I'm going to, should we leave them up there another day? The tourists? I mean, that way, oh, this says I don't have my eccentricity of 0.01. Well, I did. What happened? Let's go check it out. It's the Atlas here, right? And the not that one, this one. In the polar orbit. Let's fly that one. Okay, I was going to say, where's the music? Okay, so it says here, current eccentricity, 0.01. So what's the deal? Okay, now it says I do. Well, we'll just wait on this one. Let's go back to, and let's bring the tourist home. So I've seen that kind of weirdness on contracts before. Not surprising. Hopefully it will give me, it will recognize that completed the contract. Oh, right. We wanted to go bring the tourist home. And I believe it's the Untitled, unfortunately. Whoa, what is this? Okay. So here are our tourists. Do we have... Good. We haven't really moved the spacecraft. And I believe, yeah, they've been up here for long enough, right? Bring the tourist into orbit, and we have to recover them. So let's just go ahead and do that. Where are we? Alright, let's time warp just a bit. Did I put solar panels on? I didn't put any solar panels on this. Good thing that they didn't need a whole lot of maneuvering up here. So let's point retrograde and burn. So I noticed this nozzle here is turning a little bit when I turn the capsule. Is it using a little tiny bit of fuel to turn? It's supposed to be using electric charge. Yeah. Does this engine produce electric charge? Alternator output says, I believe it does. Let's see what happens. Probably only when it's firing, right? Alright, we're in position now. Actually, this is the one. Let's decouple this. I don't want to bring this home. There we go, and we'll activate this engine. Push that one away from us with our thrust. It'll stay in orbit, but we'll get rid of it later. Alright, let's deorbit. I'm gonna quick save just in case. $50, $40, $30, that should be good. Alright. So we'll come down in the ocean, maybe... Yeah, well, we're right over the Space Center right now. Right here. Alright, and we have to decouple this as well. So I think our tourists got a little more than they were bargaining for, but that's okay. A little extra time up in space isn't going to hurt them. So this will be the first time I've brought a capsule of this size back. Or at least in this playthrough. I could speed this up a bit. Keep that thing pointed down.
Service our room in the Aston station. Obviously,
Okay, we should be starting to see flame pretty soon. Here we go. That's a lot more ablator than the smaller capsules. I believe theirs is only 200. Okay, we're gonna land on land, it looks like. Not sure where. Oh, okay. Across the ocean there. Right at the edge of this other continent. So I don't remember, oh, when it's safe to do this parachute. Looks like it is now. And that was at 500 meters per second. But I'm going to wait a little bit. Looks like they may be able just to pop out of here, go on the beach, and continue their vacation. Hit that parachute. Now we're coming right on down on a mountain. This guy looks hilarious. He looks like a porn star actor or something. Seriously. But I still like the ooh, what was that? Why did this land so hard? Killed the heat shield. Interesting. I didn't see how fast we were going when we landed. But that parachute should have been okay for this. I'll have to go back and take a look, see how fast we were going. But everyone's alive. Let's recover the vessel. Alright. No science. We got a little bit of funds from parts recovered. Ooh, and our tourists have advanced to level 1. What does a level 1 tourist do? I wonder. Ooh, here's our reputation. Total reputation 571. Not sure what that means. I guess up here, like this 50 here is actually 500. And this 75 would be 750, I guess. So our reputation is, I guess, 57 on this scale. And Elibald awarded to Kerbals launching a vessel containing at least 2 tourists. Good for Elibald. So it looks like we did that contract, completed it, got our reward, and it should disappear here at some point. Let's go back in the mission control. Yeah, it's gone. And It looks like we completed... Did we complete the other contract? This one here. It still says that... oh, we're not up... We haven't been up there longer than a day. Looks like. So, let's fast forward to next morning. And then take it from there. Okay. This is weird. This must be looking at a different spacecraft. Let's go back in the tracking station. Alright, and we will fly this one, because I'm pretty sure I completed this contract. Let's go. Take a look. Music. Play. Okay. Alright, now that we're flying this one, I'm hoping it will show that it's completed. What does this say? 2 hours? Yeah, this is seconds, minutes, hours. 2 hours left. Is it on the complete... Oh, it is. Here it is. Completed contract. The Tiros 7 television for an observation satellite is in orbit. Good job launching this vessel. So we have 27 more. Reputation, 3 science, some cash. Very good. I'll just leave it here for now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this satellite. So let's go back to the Space Center. And let's see what we have. Plant flag on the moon. Hey, that's... Didn't we already do this? We want you to plant a flag on the surface of the moon. Well, we get tons of cash for it. I'll go ahead and take it, because we are going back to the moon eventually. What is this? Hellebald, they want me to do basically a trip around the moon. He doesn't need more experience. I can't do the engineer drill because I don't have the parts yet. I haven't unlocked them. Test the liquid fuel engine in orbit. The spark. That can't be that difficult. Long-term. I'm not too fond of the long-term missions. You get tons of stuff for this. It's 40 days. Ooh, then maybe I'll do that. This is for Ike, right? I have 4 days to consider it. Ah, see, I got more tourist missions here. Hopefully one of them is more interesting than what I've been seeing. I'm not going to add to the Juno. I mean, I could, but that's not really what the Juno was for. I could turn it into a testing facility, I guess. So what do we have active? Space camp. 2 hours left. Alright, well, we're probably going to, next time we come back, next episode, we're going to fast forward a little bit and finish this time remaining on the space camp. And then we're going to launch a rocket. We'll need more than one to go and recover these Kerbals. And at the same time, when we do that, we're going to... There was one experiment. This one. Perform Mystery Goo observation while docked with Juno. So we're going to dock with Juno, perform the Mystery Goo experiment, and then we're going to do this. Transfer a crew member, of course, from the space station to the vessel that docks with it. And so we'll complete 3 contracts when we get back. So I will leave it here, and hopefully you enjoyed this episode. We did a lot in this episode, and I'm gonna. It's gonna be a lot of editing to cut out some of that stuff that's not very interesting, but try and make this one interesting. Again, hope you enjoyed it. Come back and see the next one, and until then, I'll see you next time.